Hello, everybody out there, and welcome everybody to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. And it doesn't look like the
It's not a lot
usual.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for tonight's show, let's introduce ourselves. You guys know me. I'm Mike at DudeRock18. To this side is Kat at Comic Uno.
Hey guys. Yeah, we're sorry that it's not a full cast. We couldn't make it last week because of our schedules, and then this week was even worse. So me and Michael were like, we have to do a show because we canceled last minute last week, and everything was last minute. We really were like planning for at least 3 of us to be on, and then things happen, and then pretty much life happened, and either jobs, and then also Chris wasn't feeling well, so we couldn't have everybody.
Yeah, so Chris Darkvenger won't be on because he's not feeling well as Mike, Spider Slayer, and Brant, Last Ember Press, won't be on either. So it's just going to be me and Kat. We're calling ourselves tonight the New York Duo Squad. And we got lots of stuff for you guys tonight. We have news pieces, which, of course, me and Kat will be talking about. And if you guys would like to leave us some questions, we'll be doing
It's not even if you would like to. If you would like the show to go on, please leave us questions, because Michael didn't have any books this week. And I'm not going to do a top 5 if Michael doesn't have any books to talk about.
I really had no books to read this week. Like, I'm looking through a list. I'm like, well, okay, no books this week. Well, this is upsetting because sometimes I like to read when I'm bored, and not fun.
It's those type of weeks. And that's why we actually didn't do last week, was because there wasn't a lot of books that came out. So we were just like, what's the point of doing a show if it's only going to be so little of us? And it's like, we're talking about one book. So we're like, let's skip next week. And now this is our detriment, because we really should have skipped this week. And last week is when we should have done the show. But yeah, so what we're doing instead of our normal format for this week, next week, whenever, 3 or more of us are on next week, we will have our regular show. Will be big books, everything. But since Michael didn't read his books, I'm not going to do a top 5 and just talk to myself. So
I mean, if you want to talk about the books you read, I mean, I wouldn't mind.
They could watch my channel for that. I did a whole entire, my Comic Uno best comics of the week. If you want in detail reviews, go check out that video. But if you have questions for specific books, that is the best thing for the Q&A. You guys know what we have in our pull list. If not, you can still talk about it. Please do not talk about Death Metal. That came out today. I am going to delete those comments because we do not spoil today's books. I don't read Death Metal.
No spoilers for that.
Yeah, so please, nothing that came out this week, of today. Everything is from last week, last Wednesday, and last week's DC books. So,
and also, I'm sorry to cut you off. We just want to throw out there that, by the way, hi, everybody. The Media Jack has donated to us $10. So thank you, the Media Jack, for that.
Yes, thank you so much. I was so surprised and excited to see that right before the show even started.
Yes, so as we're talking about the news, you guys could ask us Q&A questions. Even if you have a question for me or Kat or anything, just let us know and we will get to those questions. But for right now, it is time for the news for this week. So, Kat, what do we got for this week?
All right. And please, Tevye, no more recommendations for this week's books. That also came out today, I believe, that deceased.
Yeah, we're talking about no today's, okay?
Yes, just everything that came out last week for DC and Marvel. All right, let's get into some news, though. And we're going to start out with some comic news. And I got to take off Mike's news piece he was going to talk about. Okay, let's talk about some Power Rangers. So we have the new Power Ranger titles that were released, and that is Mighty Morphin, it's called. We don't know which characters are going to be in that, but it seems like it's going to be not just like Mighty Morphin characters. There are going to be new characters on this team. Very excited about that. And then also the Omega Rangers. So that is Trini and Zach and Jason. When they went off and made their own team, they made the Omega Rangers, and they're making separate books for this. Now, I'm curious if Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is still going to go on after this, or are these the 2 new books? Are we going to see Kimberly? Are we going to see Tommy and all that? So, yeah, I'm super excited. And Ryan Parrott is heading, I think, both these books. I love his writing and love what he's doing for Power Rangers. So very excited about this.
Yeah, the directions that they're doing from the Power Rangers, like I like how they're doing like the off scenes, like what you were just saying about how Jason, Trini, and Zach about what they've been doing off the sidelines, and that's what actually gives us a greater explanation of what we didn't see on TV, but what we could have if the series kept going. I mean, my Morphin Power Rangers series, from what I've been seeing and people reviewing about it, has been really like hitting the charts everywhere, and it's been getting higher and really amazing reviews. So I'm looking forward to actually maybe taking a look at the Power Rangers to see who it is. But Tommy, I hope he's in it, because Tommy was like the whatchamacallit, like the potent member to keep the Power Rangers moving. Even though Jason was, it's like Tommy as the extra member kept it going from Mighty Morphin to Zeo, and then a little bit maybe in Turbo into Dino Thunder. So he was like the main essence of the importance in the Power Rangers group forming and being stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hope we get to see more Tommy. That'd be cool. I'm sure we will. He's Tommy, and I just wonder which book it's gonna be. Or again, there's gonna be 3 Power Rangers books. We will find out. San Diego at home, they're doing a Power Rangers panel, so I think they're gonna give us a bit more information in that panel. So that is next week. So probably, is it? Let me think. Yeah, it's next week. So I think 2 shows from now we'll probably have information about that. I hope that, so to answer Peter Baker, is there separate chats or something? I feel like an idiot, but I'm not actually sure which channel is hosting the chat. Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. Yes, so there are 2 channels that go on at the same time, which you could totally be in both chats if you like and watch it both channels. We have Mike's channel that broadcasts this, is Comic Book Corner 2.0, and then also Comic Frontline also broadcasts this show. So it's actually 2 shows that are broadcasting at the same time. So that's actually a really great question. So I don't think we talk about that every show. I think like when we premiered Comic Book Weekly, we discussed it, and that's about it.
Yeah, but we usually mention it a couple of times just for new people and new viewers who are watching and who come into the show. We more or less tend to do that. And what's up, DNGN? Thank you for coming on, as well as everybody else who's here tonight. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
We have some questions from the people. So Paul Baker also asks if either of you guys reading Aquaman. I feel no one else is reading it, and that makes me sad. We're not, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that like. I mean, I've read long ago Aquaman. I don't know, like his character, like sometimes they either do it a right way, but then sometimes they get a little bit too information on the dialogue heavy sometimes. I mean, that's what I feel when I've read some Aquaman comics, but I don't know, like there's just nothing that lets me want to read more. I mean, he was in the Justice League, and I know that he could talk to fish and everything, which I know many of you are Aquaman fans, and I'm not mean to penalize anybody who's an Aquaman fan. It's just that I just never got the whole thing of just reading about him. Really,
a lot of people didn't know these were 2 streams. Well, here you go. And Paul is actually a newer viewer, so thank you for watching the show. Again, usually we do have more people on the show, so don't worry. In the future we will, but we are holding down the fort here. And going into Aquaman, yeah, same thing that Michael said. I'm not a huge Aquaman fan. And it seems like even our Aquaman fans on the channel, like Brant's probably the bigger Aquaman fan. Not that he's the biggest Aquaman fan, but out of everyone in the group, he probably enjoys it the most. And I think he's dropped it a couple of times. I know Mike Spireslayer, he's tried it. He dropped it. So it doesn't seem like anyone's on the Aquaman bandwagon. But Paul, you gotta let us know if there's some exciting stuff going on in there.
Absolutely, because of I think we would like to know what's going on in the Aquaman franchise.
We do have Tevye who asks about Deceased Dead Planet. I will say, because again, we're not doing our top 5. Deceased Dead Planet, the sequel, was actually my pick of the week this week. I really, really enjoyed Deceased. I thought there were some good cliffhangers, some really good twisted turns, and I thought it was even better than the first story. Might be up Michael's alley for sure. we gotta get Michael to read some more books. One thing I think, Michael, I think you have to read more indie stuff. Like, I think if there's an issue 1 that comes out, like, I think you have to like go through the description and be like, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of miss those, and work and life get in the way. But I will definitely take a look at issue number 1s when I see them on the pull list.
We'll let you know which ones are good when they come out. All right, let's get into another question here, which is the Black Knight. Are you guys as happy as I am that Marvel will be publishing the floppies for the books that went digital? Yeah, no, I'm really happy that Marvel listened to the fans, right? Because we had both companies kind of doing their own thing, and I think Marvel really heard out that or just heard from sales that this is not doing as well as the floppies. It probably is worth it if we just print these out. So I was very happy. I hope that means Valkyrie continues and we have more issues of that. And I'll definitely be getting the books that I missed because I missed having those print copies. I don't think it affected Michael as much. I don't think he had to read any of the digital books from Marvel.
Not really, but I like how Marvel's listening to us and everything with how they can go about this, and with us being Marvel fans and everything, it's good that they're actually hearing our voices for with all this situation that's going on.
We're getting some Aquaman comments here. No, yeah, Dan Abnett's run during Rebirth was like it was written for a 12-year-old. The current run feels super mythos-driven and down to earth, so I'm really digging it. I know that he just had a baby. Mara's getting married. Other than that, which are big details, I don't know much what's going on. Let's see. Okay, let's get into some more news pieces here. Speaking of DC, so it looks like DC is definitely, and speaking on these digital books, they are getting more digital books out there. Shazam was canceled a few weeks ago, or maybe even months ago at this point, and now they're coming up with a digital first book for Shazam. And I'm not getting any of these digital first books because it doesn't seem like anything exciting happens in these books, nothing like game changing. And I rather get them printed. Even the Harley Quinn book, which the Harley Black, White, and Red, I'm waiting until I get it for print. Like, I would love to read it, but I don't like the chapter formats. They're too short for me.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Like, there has been, I actually read about that news about how DC is actually doing the digitals, and especially with canceling Shazam as one of them. But they've been doing a really great job with giving us the digital stuff, especially that if we can go to. If we're afraid to go out to the comic store because of the whole virus thing that's going on. And I'm actually happy to know that DC delivered it to us because, it was better for us to read, and in case we don't miss anything important in the comic books.
All right, we have some people that like the digital first books. Also, I post the link to our top 5 panels. We do that every week. And if you guys vote in the bottom, you end up picking the panel that we vote for the end. Everyone votes for the end of the month or end of the year for best panel of the year. So be sure to vote in with the panel or with the poll below for your favorite panel. Let's see. A lot of people are asking us what we thought about Shazam previously. And I liked the first couple of issues. I stuck with them, still sticking with it until it ends. And I just thought it really dropped off very quickly, and they didn't know what direction it was going in, and then it got canceled. So, yeah, I don't think the coronavirus helped those things out. But I wanted to like Shazam a lot more than I did.
Yeah, and I didn't read Shazam, so I have nothing to say about it. But for many people who have probably liked Shazam are not too happy to know that it's getting canceled because it has been selling, what I heard, very good. Like, I had ups and downs in sales from what I heard. Not sure if
Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm guessing I don't look at the sales as much. I'm not the source here, but I'm guessing it must have done pretty well because it was Jeff Johns behind it. So I don't think it did horrible. I think it was more of a direction thing. But again, I didn't look at the sales numbers, so I don't know if it did well or not. I mean, I know it wasn't like a top 10 book by any means. All right, let's get into the next thing, which is that Marvel made is this new line where they're going to be selling convention exclusive merchandise. I didn't know how to feel about this because, we have cons that are not happening right now. But how about once the cons happen? Are we going to have this exclusive merchandise that you would get at a con, which is special to go to a con on a website? Does that take away the experience of going to a Comic-Con, waiting online, and getting exclusives? I think it does.
Yeah. It just gets more and more confusing. Like, we understand that there's still lots going on, but it's like you don't know if the conventions are going to either happen or not happen. It's either one or the other. You can't just tell us like, oh, last second we just thought, oh, maybe we'll just have it and everything, and then just throw it at us. I mean, I think what they should do, and in my opinion, is wait until a year or so, like when this started, like around March, I think it was, like wait until March of 2021 when things hopefully should get better, and then maybe little by little they can open up the conventions or just
so they're not, this is online, so these are all things that they're buying, you can buy online, but I think the reason they're doing is because they've already made this merchandise and they're like, oh shit, this Comic-Con's not happening, so we need to sell it somewhere. I think that's why they're doing it. But
it's very confusing.
Yeah. So. I agree on that. All right, let's go into the next thing, which is that Wonder Woman 1984, the movie, is getting a tie-in one-shot. I'm gonna definitely get this. I really like the first movie. I'm very excited for the second, and I don't think DC does this enough. Actually, they don't really tie into their movies, and I think Marvel does it too much sometimes. So
Marvel does it way too much.
Yeah, they do, and even like the likeness of the actors, you could start seeing within the comics or some storylines. They try to make it attached to the movies, but DC, they tend not to do this at all. So I'm actually curious to have like a full-on tie-in book to the movie.
Exactly, especially with those that came out long ago. I mean, it's good that to not shrug it off and just add them to a film and everything, because let's just face it, things back then were really awesome, and we always like to look back at them. Whether we were
Wonder Woman 1984 is the next movie coming out, so this is the sequel of Wonder Woman. It's just called 1984 because it's setting of 1984. So it's about the new story of Wonder Woman that they're tying into.
Right. Just that's what I was pointing out there.
Oh, I thought you said it's cool to look at the past. So I thought you meant it was a Wonder Woman show from the past.
Put things from the past in the movie.
Oh, you mean the setting. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, sometimes I didn't mean to confuse you, because sometimes when I talk, it's just not specific. So
no, I got you now.
I'm gonna try to think more root beer.
Tevia asks if we got a Man of Steel tie-in comic. We did. That was one that they did end up doing. I did not read it. I wasn't too invested in that. But Wonder Woman, definitely gonna try that. Also for BVs, I didn't know that. I didn't see one for Batman vs Superman. I must have missed those. Thank you for correcting me on that. All right, but let's get into the next thing. Oh, Mike wanted to talk about that, so I'm gonna delete that. All right, next up, DC will have 2 Halloween specials in October. I'm tired of these anthologies. I don't care for them. I'm not gonna pick these up. I think DC's releasing too many anthologies for my liking.
For me, though, now see, when I pick up usually Halloween books, now Halloween to me starts like the trilogy of holidays. Like, you got Halloween, then afterwards you have Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, or for people who celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or whatever after Thanksgiving. I like that when the Halloween things come out, like it brings like that whole, I mean, I don't know how they're going, because, Halloween, sometimes they could go like really awesome or too far, because Halloween's like more along lines of, all the other stuff that I don't want to mention about that go too far. But for this one, though, because it's from DC, I actually think that doing Halloween specials as well as holiday specials are very exciting, especially if it has, anyone who likes holidays, like I said, such as I do, because of the Trinity holidays that happen.
DNGN says Halloween specials are an excuse to charge $10 for the book.
Well,
Yeah,
now $10. Okay,
it
you're.
is an anthology book. Yeah.
I mean, yes, you got a point on that. It is pretty pricey. I will admit that, but maybe that's how people get the books because they like it when it's a holiday of their liking. Because some people really like Halloween as a favorite.
I think people also just like horror in general and seeing their favorite characters in the horror setting. So I get that. Not enough for me to pick those up, though. The 80th anniversary issues are enough.
Yeah.
Paul Baker says, I really liked that Sinister House Halloween one shot they did a couple years ago. I got to see Paul Dini writing Harley and Zatanna together, which was a delight.
Ooh, Holly and Zatanna. Nice.
So next up is something, two things Michael wanted to discuss. First, we're going to talk about Back to the Future crossing over with the Transformers. It's your wheelhouse, so go for it.
So the thing is that I never thought that Back to the Future and Transformers would actually like intertwine with each other. Like you have Transformers who are these robots who transform into everything, and didn't they go back in time a couple of times?
Oh, you're asking the wrong gal.
Oh, I think they did. Because if there's a paradox that I remember of Transformers going back in time, that could actually connect to Back to the Future, because Back to the Future is where they go, back in time, forward, past, or any other ways. But I actually thought that it was actually pretty interesting, and not actually that I thought that they would connect, but then after a while thinking about when I saw it on a news piece, maybe it can work as something really amazing to cross over. I mean, Transformers has been getting lots and lots of recognitions, whether it's in movies or comic books now, and they've been pretty much out there, and they've been hitting home runs. Because everybody is a huge fan of Transformers, whether they were the 80s or the live action movies or comics.
Are you gonna pick up this book in particular?
I might actually take a look into it just to see, because I did watch all Back to the Future movies and I do like Transformers. So actually, when's it coming out actually?
Let's see.
Because that would actually be something I would actually look into.
It is coming out.
Probably October, November.
October 1st.
So yeah, I'll be definitely looking forward to October. There are lots of October books that I'm looking forward to checking out. But yeah, so I'm really excited about it.
Tavia asks, any opinion on Transformers getting a Netflix series War for Cybertron? No, I definitely don't. I didn't even know this was happening.
I mean, I watch Netflix, just not those types. Like, I mean, if anything, I usually just see stuff on YouTube, because sometimes whatever's on Netflix goes to YouTube anyway, if they're little shorts and stuff. That's how I got to see Harley a little bit with her
I'm glad.
episodes.
It is good, and they do have a lot of clips on YouTube.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, let's get into the next big thing from the week we did not do a show, and that is Alien and Predator coming to Marvel Comics.
Oh,
again,
man.
not my wheel. I have seen Aliens. I like Aliens, but probably not enough for me to want to read a comic about it. Like, I like the movies. I would probably see it if they come out with more sequels for Aliens, but I don't think I'm invested enough to go buy a comic.
No, the thing is that we've read Aliens and versus Predators in Dark Horse Comics, but to see them actually jump to a Marvel company, that's really big, and that's really something to see that series happen in a different comic company, and I want to actually see, because it intrigues me to see, because I have read Alien Predators in whatchamacallit, like those trade paperbacks from Dark Horse years ago. And I actually want to see how Marvel, the way they see Alien versus Predators, because different comic companies have different ideas of how they see characters. Sometimes they see it the same way, and there are others who see them a different way. But for Marvel, I want to actually see, what's up, Ron P? I really want to see how or what direction Marvel is planning to bring aliens and
Yeah,
predators.
what creators are going to be on it?
And that
Or if
too.
there's any crossover opportunities, of course, as well, with other, Marvel characters. That could be interesting.
Very
So
interesting.
we'll see where that one goes. But that was definitely more for Chris. I know he's the one who actually read those
Yeah.
comics. So
He loves
when we have
aliens.
him on next, you can ask him his thoughts on it. But let's get into the last comic news piece, and then we're getting into some media. And that is Image Comics teases a crossover. So there's something called crossover. I believe Donnie Cates is on it. And the San Diego at Home is going to announce more about that. And I don't know if it's an actual crossover. That sounds pretty interesting because obviously Image is so known for creator-owned work and like doing its own thing in its own world. So I think it's going to be cool if it actually ends up being a crossover of some sort.
Yeah, I think that in the comic book community, what I'm seeing as a pattern here is that they're doing like in a good way. Before anyone says anything, in a good way, I see that there are lots of comic companies who are working together and doing crossovers. Like I said before, you have Transformers and Back to the Future that are working together. You have Aliens and Predators working for Marvel when they were with Dark Horse, and then you got so many other crossovers that happen, like Transformers and Terminator, or whatchamacallit that happened recently when we had Turtles and Batman teaming up with each other like 2 or 3 times. Like I like that books that either we're reading or not reading, that we get more information about even He-Man and Injustice too. Like
Yeah, we're
there's
getting a lot of different franchises we haven't seen before crossover.
yeah, there are lots
cool.
of endless right. There's lots of endless possibilities, that's why I see a pattern of the comic book industries doing crossovers, because it would be something interesting for readers to read about, whether they know the characters or don't know the characters, but it's something that intertwines together, and that's what makes a comic book a lot interesting. Even with crossovers, like I said, there's been lots and lots of crossovers that have been going on in DC Marvel. I've been hearing lots of crossover ideas probably that's going to happen with those two.
Simon R says, sorry I'm late. Are Chris and Brant doing okay? Haven't seen them in a bit. Chris, as of today, just is not feeling well, but he's doing okay. And then Brant is moving. So that's why he can't be on, and he's dealing with all that. So he's busy.
But probably next week we should have a full squad at least, or 4 of us, or this could be once in a lifetime. You might just see.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. This is a crossover right here. And Mike is doing tennis camp, so don't worry. Everyone wanted to be here. It just was definitely circumstantial. Life happens. Why they couldn't be here, and why me and Michael are holding the fort to have a show for you guys.
Yeah, but we're trying.
And the NGN says DC/Looney Tunes is still too weird for me.
Oh yeah, they had that too. Now, I can't say it was too weird. Like, it was goofy. I mean, when they did the DC's perspective of Looney Tunes, it was more towards DC's way of how they see Looney Tunes. But when you did Looney Tunes' way of DC and making it funny, I mean, guilty pleasure, because I grew up watching Looney Tunes, back in the 90s, and it was just sold out for me when I read them. I mean, it's guilty pleasure, like I said, but I liked how DC saw Looney Tunes, but went a little bit darker, like not too dark, like just a little bit darker on their side.
All right, let's get into some of our media news here. This is from Michael. Captain America is in Fortnite. Have you played? Are you excited?
Like, I have played Fortnite in the past, and I have seen Deadpool in Fortnite, but see Captain America that came out, especially this past 4th of July, which is perfect because Captain America stands for, the guy.
Guess what? America.
America, right. And just to see him in Fortnite, just to get justice, especially with the shield that he has, because we've been seeing, I mean, Captain America is all about just war. It's not just about just his character. It's just about that he's a warrior character that just goes into war, and he'll just push forward like, like a kind of maybe like G.I. Joe, but a little bit more of an extremist, with his shield and
And
how.
we learned that G.I. Joe is not one person. Many people.
No, he's
Not
many
just one.
people. No, but I'm just saying, like, in that perspective. But we have a shield, and that does all these powerful moves and crazy stuff. So I think that he was a pretty good add-on to Fortnite for that
So
reason.
do they keep them forever, or is it just like a limited time that these characters are on there?
I think they keep them forever because I'm not sure if they go for a limited time and then you have to buy them as a DLC, or if they stay on. Because if it's a free added update, then they stay with you forever. But it kind of would make sense, though, like if they were doing this, like if they had it for a limited time, and if you like the character, you could buy the DLCs. Because when it comes to DLCs, you know how the gaming industries are with all the characters that because if you like a character and if it's in high demand that this character is good, it'll definitely be a DLC where people have to pay for it. But I think if it's an update, because there's a difference between DLCs and updates, maybe I think they keep them. I'm not too sure actually about that.
Well, those Fortnite fans should let us know in the. It's limited time, Tevia said.
Oh, it is.
So, Tevia, we're going to talk about the Sabrina stuff. That's going to be our last topic since that's the title of our show here. But let's get into Stargirl. Only going to be on the CW for season 2. So this is another thing we were going to talk about last week, but we didn't have the show. I'm curious what this means for DC Universe. Please, no negativity in the comments, because I know already saying that is going to blow up to some negativity. Please don't do that. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what shift DC Universe makes, and if they're just going to be focused on comics or if they're going to be doing other shows. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I literally can't say much. So, but I just wanted to reference it because it was a big news piece. So
I just have a quick question. So for Stargirl, this is the first time she's on CW for season 2 because she was in another.
So she was on the CW for season 1, but they were doing it at the same time with DC Universe. So now for season 2, they're just doing the CW, not DC Universe, even though originally it was going to be a DC Universe show.
Yeah, because they've been going back and forth with some of the stuff, like saying, should we put it on CW or should we put it on DC Universe? Because they connect together because they're Warner Brothers for the CW.
Yeah. So it's just different platforms, same people, run the production. They don't run the CW. So Warner Brothers is not CW, but they just have a lot of their productions at the CW. Yeah. And they used to be Warner Brothers. All right, let's get in. Okay, see, this is, I told you, no negativity on that. So we are going to take away the negativity on that comment.
Yeah, no negativity. None. Zilch.
No negativity. I gave you guys the warning on that. All right, let's get into the next thing before we get into our big topic. So this is actually your time to get some questions in, because we have a lot of time left and we're almost done with the news.
I mean, if you got any questions, like I said, comic related, anything you have questions for me or Kat of anything, or or our YouTube channels or Kat's Kickstarter or anything, just let us know in the questions, and we will actually be more than happy to answer, because your Q&As are important to us, and we love to answer your questions of what you want to know about us as well as a group, because there's more than just me and Kat. There's the rest of us. But but
we'll air out all their dirty laundry right here.
No, I mean, we just can't answer for Chris, Bran, or Mike unless we know them. If we know them enough to answer it, yes. But if we don't know it, then we don't want to make a fool out of us. And
we'll see what type of questions everyone comes up with.
Good questions. Yeah.
Let's get into this next topic, which is new Gotham TV show for HBO Max. And this is going to be the Gotham PD show. And it's going to be a bit more serious. It's going to be related to the Robert Pattinson movie coming out with Batman. We have Terrence Winter, who's done Sopranos and Vinyl. I actually know Terrence, and he's an awesome guy. So was very, very, very excited to see he'll be show running this. And Matt Reeves, who is the director of Batman, will also be producing it. So yeah, I am excited for this show. I like the minds behind it, and I'm excited to see a different type of Batman show that's not related to Gotham or Gotham the
I
TV
was
show.
just gonna say
Speaking.
something. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
was just gonna say with Gotham ending, I was saying, so is this gonna take place after Gotham? But then you just said it isn't. So
No, yeah, it's not related to that Gotham, so it's gonna be related to the new Batman movie.
yeah, they're pretty much bringing Batman into the mix of things, especially with I mean a lot of things in a good way.
Yeah, I mean it's Batman, so understandable, and I'm excited to see some new material for HBO Max. I haven't touched it yet, so I will see. All right, let's get into the big topic of tonight's show, which is Archie TV ending? Because we have two Archie TV shows that were canceled this week, and that is Katy Keene and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, all in different streaming services and cable. So Katy Keene was a CW show, Chilling Adventures was a Netflix show, and both were canceled. They didn't end; they both canceled. So I am curious what this means for the future of Archie TV, because are they going to actually want to release more content after Katy Keene was their kind of spin-off of Riverdale that didn't do well? Sabrina, I think, did well for them, but maybe the numbers didn't do as well as the future seasons went.
Yeah,
along.
I'm surprised really because I thought Sabrina was doing well also because of many people who were big fans of Sabrina the Teenage Witch years ago, because that's what I was, because I watched Sabrina from time to time. Not the new one, like the past one.
The sitcom.
Yeah, but I thought that this was actually doing well. It's very surprising to actually know that they're being canceled because not many people were enjoying it. I mean, we don't know why. I mean, it kind of was all right from what I heard.
Yeah, it wasn't my thing, but a lot of people enjoyed it. And yeah, I am curious if we're actually going to get more of these Archie shows and what that would look like, and what happens after Riverdale. Is Archie kind of done with their TV shows? I don't know. And is Riverdale going to really last forever? I know the cast doesn't really love being on the show. So once their contracts are up, or is the show going to last forever? There's people already leaving. I think one of the parents already left. So how long is Riverdale really going to last? Or is it just going to be like one of the original characters staying on, then you have people leaving? So yeah, what is the future of Archie TV? I don't know. I mean, Riverdale is obviously a big success for them and have influenced a lot of their moves they've made.
That or would you maybe consider, if they do this, that they might go to CW or one of the other shows, like maybe Fox or NBC?
I think it depends if they have a campaign big enough that people want to save it. Honestly, since it's been canceled, I haven't been seeing people being like, "Oh my God, we need Sabrina. Where's my Sabrina?" Like, I haven't really seen many social media, at least maybe because I'm not part of the fandom, but I haven't seen a lot of social media posts about it besides like, "Oh, I'm sad it's ending."
Yeah, but for Archie TV, like if it ends, I mean, we could see them probably splitting off into different networks. Probably, like I said, for Riverdale. I mean, if it went to CW, I wouldn't be too surprised because
Riverdale's on CW.
I thought it was on the other channel.
Nope, Riverdale's on CW.
Else.
Chilling Adventures is on Netflix. Katy Keene was on the CW. Didn't do quite well. And then the Riverdale's is on the CW. And that hasn't been canceled. Riverdale, I'm sure, is going to go on for a while. But it's the question of the spin-off shows. It's the questions of the other properties of Archie, if they're going to really do anything after. Because they're not Marvel or DC. They don't have like thousands of properties. But they have enough that they could have made more shows and some interesting shows.
Yeah, that or they might go to Netflix probably if Archie TV ends.
Yeah, we'll see, because again, Sabrina was canceled off of Netflix. I mean, I don't know if Katy Keene. I think it depends on if Katy Keene, when their first season goes on Netflix, if it does extremely well, and if there's enough people who are petitioning and rioting online saying, "Oh, we want Katy Keene." Again,
I don't I don't think riot's a good word to use.
No, but being they want the show a lot. They want the show a lot, and they are trying to get it back on, and petitioning for sure is, I guess, the better term. But
Right.
I haven't seen much for that. So, all right, let's get into some more questions, which is biggest pet peeve.
Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve of life?
Is it
yeah,
or
anything?
life?
Yeah, I think life. Biggest pet peeve of life? I would say arrogant people are usually is my biggest pet peeve.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes, I mean, there are ways that I could see people about, how, I mean, that's just to train me about how people really are rather than them just telling me, because it's like saying, like, like there are ways I see people, like, like I say, oh yeah, this person's all right, and then there's some people that rub off the wrong way, and I'm like saying, we're gonna have a problem. But I really don't get that.
That's your biggest. Well, what's your pet peeve? Pet peeve meaning like what grinds your gears, and not even about people, about anything.
Well, you know what really grinds my gears? No, I'm kidding. So,
nothing. And Michael doesn't have any pet peeves.
No, it's like, I guess how, like when car services, when you call for an Uber and then sometimes they go the other way and you're just waiting for a car to come, and then instead of them coming to you, they just go the other way and then they go far, far off, and then you wasted money. Or
then that's not your car anymore. Yeah.
Or better this, like you set a location where you are, and then the car doesn't know where you are, and then they call you saying, so where are you? And then I'm telling the person, yeah, I'm on such and such, and then they can't find you, and I'm like saying, well, then I'm going to cancel the ride, and then they don't like that very much because that loses their money and stuff. But that's all I could really think of.
I gotta say, since the last time I talked to Michael, we've talked about ride sharing apps twice. This is a second time in a row that we have talked about ride sharing apps. So Michael has a big grind, a big gear to grind with Uber. So let's get into.
Don't drive past me, Uber. I like your service.
Yes, he just wants to be picked up by an Uber on time, and they need to know where he is.
Yes.
All right, next up is Tree Bark. Do you think CW will tackle supervillain show or a supervillain show? I think that'd be interesting and be something different. I don't know if they will, but I'm sure they're going to run out of ideas. So is CW going to tackle, like, instead of a superhero, a supervillain? I think that'd be cool.
A supervillain? That's actually a good question, because I know that they're more along the lines of a superhero origins, but a supervillain, that wouldn't be too bad, actually. I would actually like to see maybe a Bizarro villain, or
there is a Bizarro show coming out, but not for the CW. I forget. It was actually supposed to be for DC Universe. I don't know if it's still happening or not, but that was announced.
Or Sinestro, with the way how he became the Gold Lantern, because he went from green to the yellow. That actually pinpoints to a lot of good ideas that maybe there should be a supervillain. But I think that they usually do villains from time to time. But
they do them within the show. I think the person acting is like, would you want to see a supervillain as a lead? And I think that'd be cool.
And as a title itself,
yeah, as the title of the show, yeah. Tevi asks, how do you feel about Marvel releasing another event called King of Black? I think it's a Venom event, so I don't think it's the whole Marvel universe. So I don't care because I don't read Venom. So
but haven't we got enough symbiote stories?
You would think, but I mean, they're popular, and this volume of Venom in particular is very popular.
They're popular, but it's kind of been, in my opinion, it's been kind of been like, okay, like we know what the symbiote does, but it's just too much. Like we how can I put this? Like, it's just been overdosed many, many times of repetitiveness.
Yeah,
Unless
no, I agree.
direction.
I agree. Again, I can't be the one speaking on it because I don't read the series. I don't know if the book entails for an event, but that's probably a better question for Mike. Not this Mike, other Mike.
Yeah.
I do have a
Spice.
comment from Serenity. Well, Fantastic Four Empire or whatever. I think Empire was awesome, was their comment. I liked Empire this week. I didn't love the Avengers book, but I enjoyed Fantastic Four because I've been reading Fantastic Four. In this issue, we get to see the Fantastic Four gamble, the kids, and Sue Storm helps them out. And I thought that was really fun. Actually, that's part of the panel. So I am going to repost the panels in the chat. So if you guys want to vote for your favorite panel for the week, that's there. All right, let's get into, are you hoping death metal reboots DC? If so, what are you most afraid of losing from current continuity? No, I really don't. I don't need another reboot. No, thank you. Just try to work with what you got.
I don't really actually see a necessity of why there should be a reboot in death metal. I mean, it's just one thing in itself. I mean, I've read some of the death metal magazines, so I don't.
So death metal, that's a different. So death metal is in the DC book going on right now. So
Yeah,
there's
but
an event.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, by looking at it, I really don't see a reason for there to be a reboot for that reason.
Yeah, for DC. Yeah, well, I know they're trying to dance around a lot of the rebirth stuff and all that, but again, I'm dropped the book, so I don't have many thoughts on it. Do you guys have HBO Max and is Young Justice on it? No, it's only on DC Universe. I do have HBO Max because I share it with a few friends. Other than that, I probably wouldn't have HBO Max, but one of my friends was very kind to let us all share, so I haven't gone on it yet, though, so there hasn't been a reason.
Yeah, I don't have it. I just have just Netflix and YouTube on a TV. That's pretty much it.
We have Justin who says, what do you think of stores selling the gold Negan for hundreds of dollars? Follow-up question, how much money would you personally spend on a comic? Recent spent $75 on TMNT and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, one per store variant. Huh. That's a good question.
Well, if it's gold and if it's like something rare that, you know, like something like because gold goes up for a lot of money depending on what gold that they use. So, I mean, if it's for hundreds of dollars, like not too far in the hundreds, I mean, it could be a best sale, and it all depends on how it looks in person, because the way you could see it on the internet, it may look really cool, but then when you have it right in your hands in front of you, then it looks like not what you expected, and if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. I think it depends on what you're getting. Like, if you're a huge Walking Dead fan, sure, spend the money on it. You don't know when a Walking Dead book is going to come out again. It's very rare. Do what you will with your money. But I'm not going to do that for every book. You know, it really has to be a special franchise or a special character that I'll drop money like that. But honestly, rarely will I do it at a comic store. I'll usually do it at Comic-Con. Be like, oh, there's an exclusive here. I'll buy it. I'll get that.
Yeah, because it's good that I rather see it before I purchase it to see whether I want it or not, and depending on the price range as well.
And if it's at a store, I feel like how rare can it be? I know you have the ones per store variants, but when you're at a con, you know it's just for that event. So I rather do it that way. But yeah, I mean, that's the comic industry for you. DNGN says Katy Keene. You mean Nancy Drew? No, Nancy Drew has been renewed. Nancy Drew is still going on. Also not an Archie property. Katy Keene is an Archie property and has been canceled. So I did mean what I said for that one. Let's see what else you got.
Got lots of Q&A.
Thank
you guys.
Yeah, thank you. We need them. I think they did it wrong. It never should have been a Katy Keene show. Should have been a Josie and a Pussycats musical show like fans wanted. I agree. Josie was in the show. People liked her. She had a built-in fan base, I think even more than Lucy Hale, in the regard at least to characters. So, I agree with you. I think it should have been a Josie show.
Absolutely.
Paul says, I quit Riverdale halfway through episode 1. What do the cast hate about the show? Mostly the story. So you can watch interviews and you can kind of see how much fun they have with some of the storylines that they were presented. I also don't watch Riverdale. I'm just sent these videos by friends, and I'm like, that's hysterical. So like Comic-Con videos and stuff. Let's see what else we got here. We got a lot of comments about Archie, which is cool. Let's see. Do you think Sabrina can work on the CW with all the Satanism themes? Probably not. Well, who knows? Because they have like supernatural.
It could work. In some ways, it could work actually, if done right, of course.
Black Knight says, "Have you seen the new trailer for the animated Star Trek show cartoon?"
Nope.
I have not. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I don't think
I'm not Trek either. I mean, I know my fiance's a Trekkie fan, but I'm Star Wars, so sorry. I mean, I like Star Trek a little bit, you know, with watching some stuff here and there, but not a big fan like I am of Star Wars.
Commuting in New York is its own special hell. Yes, it is. It very much is. It's not, honestly, it's not as bad now because of the coronavirus, but
but before
you're
then,
risking your life, so that's bad.
Like, no, because when you commute in the city, it's like when you go to Times Square or something, and this was before the corona, like you couldn't even a car couldn't even go past.
Car literally is not allowed to go in Times Squares, which, you know, rightfully so, safety wise.
Because they usually have taxi cars and stuff like that. But like trying to get through the freeway because people are walking, you know. And even when you go to Javits Center, I'll never forget weekends where people just bump into you, and I've had many camera, you know, experiences of being there. So it's a big crowd, but right now, unfortunately, with stuff, it's not the same. And I don't know if missing it is a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah.
As someone who's from Staten Island, going to the city is even worse. So there is no direct transit to the city. So I don't.
Well, they have a ferry, don't they? Use the ferry to go to.
You have to use the train to get to the ferry to go to the city. There's no actual, like, you guys have a subway that is attached to the city. We don't have a subway attached to the city, and the ferry is not. It's only one place you can go to with the ferry. Like with a train, obviously there's different stops. So the ferry, you go to that one place, and it's not all the city. So you have to. There's a lot of traveling involved. Is the point?
The facts of Staten Island
sucks. All right, Sylvia, how do you feel about the Batwoman recasting? I'm excited to see a new voice on Batwoman. I didn't really quite like the first season. I hope having a new actress will help. I think it's great that we have a black actress. I think it's great that the actress is bisexual and that the character will be a lesbian because, you know, obviously that's a huge part for Batwoman character. So I hope that it's good. And yeah, I really didn't like the first season, so I don't think it can get worse. So I'm hoping that the new character will help this out. And like I said, I'm really excited for having a person of color. And I think that diversity and that voice will be important for the show. So I'm very excited for that. All right, let's see. There's so many comments I have to look through to get the questions. Here, if you catch anything, let me know, Michael.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
They're mostly talking about like Star Wars and Star Trek.
I'm not seeing any questions yet.
Let's see. JLS Comics came in. What's up, JLS?
How's it going, JLS? Also, all Negan comic books proceeds go to the comic book store. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Additive to getting that book is that it was made to actually help the comic stores during coronavirus. So I thought that was cool. If you could go back in time and get your favorite comic as a child or comic that you know will be worth millions in today, just bring it into right now in perfect edition, which would you pick? I feel like everyone would say Action Comics, right? Because
that or Amazing Spider-Man issue 1.
I would love it as a person. I would love Amazing Spider-Man like more in my collection, but as someone who's going back in time, like you're gonna pick the one that's most expensive so you can sell it and make some millions.
But yeah, but Action Comics definitely would be on a lot of people's pull list of what they would do to go back in time, and also Detective Comics issue 1 would be another great deal.
issue 27, 24. Issue that the first appearance of Batman's Detective Comics issue 24 or 27. Let me see. 27. I was right.
Yeah. So then that would also be good. But there are a lot of comics that were sold years ago that actually would make a lot more of the money depending on the sales, as well as how people liked it, and as well as if you CGC the book, and if it's like a 9.8 or 9.9 especially, then that's a very, very expensive deal you got going there.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd keep that one in condition. So next question is from DNGN. Have you kept up with Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad? No, I actually dropped it. Mike's a big fan of that one. Michael does not read that. I believe everyone else is reading Suicide Squad besides us. So you've axed the wrong crowd.
So sorry, DMGN.
How did you like the last Star Wars movie? I had to leave 20 minutes into the movie. I didn't love it. I really didn't like it much, the last one. I did like Last Jedi, but I really didn't like
I unfortunately didn't see the last one, but I really do want to see it though, because I mean, I don't know. I just never had the time to go see it because I was between work and everything, and I feel really bad I never got to see it.
I'm sure one day you'll be able to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite comic book to read? I mean, I guess we could talk about current comics. My favorite current comic to read? I would say Runaways, but it's not going on right now because they haven't announced when that's returning.
Or Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, but she has Marauders, but I don't think Marauders I love Kitty.
Yeah, we know that.
I do. I love my girl Kitty, but she doesn't have her own series. She has Marauders, and she's dead in it. So I can't.
I'm gonna one day see an action figure Kitty Pryde. I'm gonna say I'm getting this for Cat. Like one day, so. I'm gonna see it. You know.
I hope so for sure.
But for me though, I mean, Family Tree is a good issue.
It is. Family Tree is.
And I do read Spider-Man. Punisher. I mean, the Soviet Punisher for me didn't really sit in well. I mean, there were some Punishers that were good, and I think it was just the one that wasn't. But it's either Spider-Man, Punisher, Teen Titans, which is the now Teen Titans, and Robin Hood from Zenoscope. Love Robin Hood.
We have Life Grip, and also, yeah, definitely keep coming with the questions, guys. So I think we're starting to wind down with the questions. Favorite hero and villain from DC/Marvel. So, well, Marvel, I think. I would say Mayday Parker, but I also am a huge Spider-Man fan. But I think what would you say is your favorite Marvel hero?
My favorite Marvel hero, I mean, it's always going to be Spider-Man, no matter what.
There you go. So Spider-Man is all in the Spider-Man family. Then favorite villain from Marvel has to go to Green Goblin for me.
For me, it's either between Venom or Carnage. Well, no, actually Carnage, because Venom's more of an anti-hero. So I would say Carnage is my favorite.
Right. So that's Marvel. DC now. So DC for me, Stephanie Brown, for sure. Favorite DC hero.
DC. I mean, I could say Superman, but I think that there's another favorite on DC, and I can't seem to pinpoint it. Unless it is really Superman, I can't pinpoint that. So I'll just go with Superman for now.
And favorite villain from DC? Again, I'm going to be generic and say the Joker.
I would have to say Doomsday.
Doomsday, cool.
Doomsday is pretty much of a badass. I mean, yes, he did kill Superman, and it was kind of upsetting and sad, but yeah, he's like almost the all-powerful villain in that sense.
He is. Next question is from DNGN. A little off topic, but did you guys see Hamilton?
Actually, I did the other night.
Ooh, nice. So we can actually talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about some Hamilton.
Yeah, because my fiance actually got one of the deals from one of her friends to see Hamilton. That movie blew my mind. Like the Broadway show. Like I liked how. I mean, yes, it did the history, but I liked how when you hear the music, it's like so upbeating, and there's like all these rap parts that happened, and then the King Henry guy that sang the same song of that la da da da. I mean, I wish I could get her in here and talk about
You'll
it.
be back, yeah. I'm
Three times King Henry came in, 3 times with that song, and I'm like, damn it, King Henry.
I like that. I'm a huge Hamilton fan. I saw the play, so after the original cast was out, but I have seen the play, and I've been listening to the soundtrack since the show's been out. And then I did get to see the original cast, obviously through the Netflix special. Oh no, I'm sorry, Disney Plus special. And yeah, I thought it was great. It was really cool to see the little quirks that the original members did for the parts. Favorite song though, Michael? What was your favorite song? I know a lot of them. I don't want to say sound similar, but I know a lot of them collide a bit.
I think it was I can't remember. It was where there was a rap between Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson.
The cabinet meeting?
Yeah, like the meeting. I mean, I thought that was actually pretty good.
That was good. I like the ones that you wouldn't it's a little bit more Broadway-esque. Like I enjoy Burn from Eliza when she's like, burning all those letters. Like I'm not going to be in history anymore. I love that. I do enjoy You'll Be Back because, again, it's just so different from the other songs that we have. But, yeah, I think the one thing I enjoy about Hamilton is you always have a different favorite. Like Dear Theodosia is really good. So it's a good play, guys, if you haven't seen it. I
was just blown away about how it was so, like, put together and just the whole action of it. I mean, it did give me – I mean – It just felt like a good taste of music. Like it was actually something that interests me, in that.
It's long, but
yeah,
it's very long. But it's great. All right, let's get into the next thing. Tevia, did you guys see Mortal Kombat Scorpion Revenge? Nope,
I did not see that. But I mean, I'm more of a Sub-Zero fan. Because I know Sub-Zero could beat Scorpion, but that's just my opinion. So, just saying.
Let's go into the next one. Are there any comic tropes you missed that you haven't seen in a while?
Comic trope?
I would say a trope as in like something that like a cliche.
Oh.
I would say the identity reveal, but not to like two family members or friends. I feel like I haven't seen in a while because everyone knows. Usually it's like to the world. I've seen it a lot, but I haven't seen like to a friend or whatever in a while. What would it take to make a Wonder Woman book sell well? Well, let's hope the next Wonder Woman book, Mariko Tamaki and Mikkel Janin, looks like a great run. I'm excited. And obviously I had Greg Rucka, who launched the DC Rebirth stuff. I think it's just a good creative team, and the next great team looks great.
Not to mention, Meredith Finch did an awesome Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Meredith did well, too. It was like towards the end of New 52, so I don't know how well it sold, but it was a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Have either of you been to Colorado? I have not been to Colorado.
No, but I mean, I've heard that Colorado is pretty cold if you go to the mountains.
It is pretty cold.
No, but like I don't know, like I've been hearing that one day if I were to travel, I mean that would be one of the places because I've got a lot of places I would love to travel.
Where do you want to go? If you could travel now and coronavirus didn't exist and money was an option.
Well, I would love to travel to Florida to go see Disney World because guilty pleasure. I mean, I haven't been to Disney since 1999, so I would love to go to Florida just for Disney reasons and every park, just see how it evolved. My second trip would be to Italy, of course. And my third trip would be to Japan because they have like this whole Super Potato Store, whatever it's called, where they have all the games and stuff. I mean, I will be stuck in that game store that's like for hours. And there's like, I think one big one, I forgot what it was called, where it has a Miss Pac-Man or whatever logo it is on there. And they have floors of all the games and stuff. And plus, they have lots of stuff in Japan that I would really love to see. And that leads to going to the fourth place. Well, no, the fourth place would be Virginia because I like Alexandria. And then fifth would be Colorado.
Oh, there. So within America, you would say Virginia is. No, Florida was your number one.
Florida. Yeah.
For me in America, I've been to a lot of places. So in America.
In America.
Hmm.
You would like to go to Disney the way those little
I've
Mickey
been
Mouse-
there before. I'm trying to think of a place I haven't been. I think it'd be kind of cool to go to Nashville or New Orleans. I've
Oh,
never been to
Tennessee.
those. Yeah, I've never been to those two places. And then out of country, surprisingly enough, I've never been to Canada. So
Oh yeah, that's added to my bucket list. The sixth place now, Canada.
yeah, I would like
Maybe.
to go to Canada. I would like to go Australia, of course.
I
Japan as
heard
well.
Quebec is beautiful in Canada.
Yeah, I like that. It's just every area of Canada is very different. And we're from New York, so we really have no excuse. Like we could go Niagara Falls and just go. It's not that far away, but
I would love to go Niagara Falls.
yeah,
That would
Niagara
be
Falls would
nice.
be nice too. I've never, again, weirdly enough, never been to Niagara Falls, and it's in my.
We don't. I mean, she travels much. Me, unfortunately, not yet. But maybe someday I will.
Yeah, never know. We had another.
Or train or bus. That's all.
Yeah, I think train probably is the best route for Niagara Falls. I mean, I'm sure they have a plane, but it's pretty close because it's New York. Why
Yeah,
waste
so
the plane
I
ride?
think. Yeah, and so I don't think a plane ride would go there unless they're gonna travel around the world to. You know,
I mean, they go to Buffalo, New York, so I'm sure it goes there. It's just you take a small plane. So, all right, let's get in. This is a little bit of a heavier question, but I'll answer it. Do you think there's too many superhero shows with politics? I mean, I like connection to the real world.
I'm not getting into politics.
Yeah, I will very much shortly answer that and say I personally like when stories delve into real world situations, and I enjoy it. I know it's not for everybody, but I think a creator always has a right to write about whatever they want, and everyone has a right to pick up if they want to or not. But I usually enjoy it. Again, depends on the topic and depends if it organically works in the story. I think that's all the questions. So I think we're gonna start wrapping up. But thank you guys for watching and helping us through our show here. And I hope you enjoyed. And again, I hope next week we'll have at least 3 people so we could talk about the top 5 books. And we're really sorry.
But we could talk about key issues.
Oh, right. We didn't do key issues. You were right. So we're going to do key issues before we go. So key issues here. We got, of course, the Amazing Experiment issue 44. Yep. Honestly, I don't remember what happened in the last issue.
I think it was where, oh God. Where it was where Spider-Man Boomerang were going up against.
Oh, it was a filler arc. It was so this is a new arc. I'm reading it here. Kindred has big plans with Sin Eater. So it looks like it's gonna be a an actual big story with Sin Eater and Kindred. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the Kindred one, right. That's what it is.
Yeah. All right, let's go into the next one, which is Fantastic Four Empire Tie-In. Again, I liked issue 0. I was kind of surprised by it. And I like Fantastic Four, so I'll read that. Next up is Family Tree, which we were just discussing. Yep. I'm curious to see if they're going to go to the time period that they ended, not in the last issue, but the issue before, where we saw the future.
Yeah, so can we get the badass future, please?
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that, for sure. Let's go. Any other thoughts on Family Tree?
I just hope we see the future. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Next up is Spider-Woman issue 2, which I'm really excited for. I really enjoyed Spider-Woman issue 1. I think Carla is a great writer. Also, Betty Page, which I could connect to, comes out tomorrow by the same writer. And I've really been enjoying what Dynamite's been doing with Betty Page. I think it's a really cool book. And the free comic book day books are the last things we're going to talk about. So we have X-Men and Ranger Slayer, and these are both free. So you could just get them for free. And you're gonna get Ranger Slayer?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take a look at that.
Yeah, and then if I believe it officially comes out next week, so if you don't catch the free comic book day book, you could just get the Ranger Slayer from next week. So I know not everybody gets their physical books, and I don't know if they'll digitally be available.
Hopefully I'll have more than 2 books to read and have a top 5 at least.
It looks like you will, because you have Family Tree and Spider-Man, so you already got 2
That's
over there.
2.
Yeah,
but
you already got 2.
But usually stuff that's not a key issues, I see it on the pull list. So maybe I'll be lucky to catch another 2 or 3 more.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure there'll be more books there. And yeah, and then X-Men, I'm excited to get more X-Men stories because I feel like it's been really a long time since we've gotten an X-Men story, and Marvel was so full throttle in the franchise. And then obviously everything happened and we haven't gotten those stories. So really excited to see whatever this X-Sword event will be. Yeah, Ranger Slayer, of course, I'm excited for that. But yeah, that is our show. Thank you guys.
So wait, is there anything that we want to talk about? What's coming out for your channel or anything?
Oh, right. My channel. I have Comic Uno's Best Comics of the Week for tomorrow. Other than that, I actually don't think I have a huge week for my channel. We'll see with the Comic-Con stuff. Obviously, go check out my sorry, I was reading a comment, but go check out my work at Newsrama and DC Universe. I always have stuff coming out from over there and some cool interviews and stuff. So check that out. And that's it from me. I don't think I have too much going on, at least in the regards of YouTube for this week.
All right. Well, for me, I do have 2 things. I did pre-order the Nintendo Switch video game of and I know it's not comic related, I'm just saying what's just going on my YouTube, of Paper Mario Origami King, where me and my fiance it's gonna be out this Friday. But I'm not, well, for us, for Amazon, I probably will get it maybe Saturday or Monday, and I'm planning to do a co-op walkthrough from time to time with Ellie, or my fiance in there. So we're gonna be doing that. And tomorrow, I'm looking forward for my Nintendo Switch to do a tile that's coming out for the NES Nintendo Switch Online and 2 tiles for the SNES Nintendo Switch Online. So I will be doing those. As far as anything else, I mean, I did post on Twitter of a Super Mario Maker 2 level I created. Yes, I created a stage, but it was for a Dashi game, so maybe I'll be featured and do a reaction video of it, maybe, if it happens. Other than that, thank you for those who have subscribed to my channel. I do see it climbing steadily, and I appreciate your subscribing and comments as always. Thank you all so much for that. Hopefully we could keep the flow going. And thank you for coming on to the show for Comic Book Weekly, and that's the end. So I'm Mike at Deuterock18, and she's Kat at Comic Uno.
Let me get the banners up so we could subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. That's the top of Kat's head of our Comic Frontline. Also, don't forget to click that notification bell where you'll be notified about videos we upload, as well as giving us that thumbs up. And then below Kat is all of our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Comic Frontline, all across the board. Thank you all so much for coming on this Comic Book Weekly with the New York duo squad that you probably might see once in a lifetime. But hopefully next week we could get the whole crew back for next Tuesday. Just don't forget, every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is where we do our Comic Book Weekly for you guys. And that will be all for our show. So until next week, take care, rock on, and we'll all see you guys in the comic book universe. And enjoy your new comics for Comic Book Day tomorrow or today soon. So take care, everyone.